Weekend ahead, you may be thinking about getting outside, being really active. And while that can be really fun, it can also put you at risk for injury. So here to talk a little bit more about that is our 9 Health expert, Dr. Payal Kohli. Dr. Kohli, thanks so much for being with us.
Good morning, Jordan. You're going to get out this weekend?
I absolutely am going to get out this weekend. Look, we're talking about taking up new sports this morning like pickleball. By the way, I love pickleball. Have you played yet?
No, I'm not a player at all.
It is so fun. If you ever
fun?
want to come along and tag along, let's do that. But this is something that a lot of people started doing in the pandemic. They want to get outside because it allowed for proper spacing between people. But you have to know how to start.
You really have to. And pickleball is an easy one to start with because it's actually a sport that appeals sort of across the board.
Yeah.
You could pick it up regardless of age and sort of skill level. Leonardo DiCaprio plays it every day.
Oh, does he really?
In fact, he does, yeah.
You just had that info at the top of your head, didn't you?
Yes, and they put it in schools and everything, so it's a great sport. But I think it's a good analogy
Yeah.
for picking up any new physical activity. You have to be exceedingly careful because what you're doing is really sort of shocking your body, your physical body, your heart, your blood vessels,
right.
Kind of all the parts of your body. So I like to tell people it's sort of like getting into a swimming pool one toe at a time.
Oh, good. Okay,
Yes.
good to know. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't want to cannonball in. You really want to sort of slowly ease your body into whatever it is, whether it's hiking, biking, walking, pickleball, so that you're not kind of shocking your system.
How do you even begin to know where am I? How do you assess that situation to get started and then to evaluate your next steps?
Yeah, I think knowing kind of where you are, not just in terms of your stamina, but also in terms of your physical limitations. Because, you know, as we age, our joints get stiffer, our muscles get stiffer,
Yes.
our tendons get stiffer, they lose water.
Yes.
So it's really important to know kind of what the general shape of your musculoskeletal system is. And the way to really sort of assess that is to get a kind of a snapshot of how much activity you're doing, what types of activity you're doing. Is it muscle conditioning or is it, you know, cardio? And then design a really sort of personalized plan to ease yourself in. You don't want to go from couch potato to 5K
Yeah,
overnight.
right, exactly. There are ways to train that. There are programs that you can find there. You're so right, though. I play in a flag football league, and I didn't know that my muscles had gotten so tight, and I pulled my hamstring right off the bat sprinting out of the gate. I used to be a sprinter, you know,
Wow.
back in high school. I was a gymnast, all that. I thought my body was equipped for
Ready,
that.
yeah.
But over a decade of not doing that same thing, your muscles aren't the same. I also want to talk about the heart aspect of it all. You got to be aware of what's happening with your ticker in there and making sure that that's good to go. How do we factor that into this?
Yeah, you know, so less than 2 out of 100,000 people will have a heart attack during exercise. Because if you think about what you're doing when you're exercising, intense physical exercise is a bit of a stress test on the heart. It can cause the blood vessels to block because of a, you know, inflammation that it can create. It can cause an electrical problem in the heart. So overall, exercise, of course, is so good for your heart.
Right, yes.
It reduces your chance of ever having a heart attack. But jumping into that swimming pool, cannonballing in, can really be a little bit of a stress on the heart and the blood vessels, cause your blood pressure to go up dramatically. So, you know, what you really want to do is kind of make sure that you know if you have heart disease at baseline before you start a new sport or exercise, you need to talk to your doctor about what the safest way to transition is. But after heart attacks, what do we do to people? We make them exercise.
Yes.
We do something called cardiac rehab where we actually train their heart how to exercise better to prevent another one. So I don't want you to worry about having a heart attack during exercise, but I want you to be really mindful of it. And the way I like to say you kind of know if you're doing too much is if we were, you know, exercising together, you were standing next to me, could I talk to you in a few short sentences? And if the answer is yes, that's the perfect level of exercise.
Okay.
If I can't get a word out, I got to dial it back because that's too much for my heart.
Okay, good advice there. And I feel like this goes without saying, if you're getting outside, make sure you're hydrating and also wearing that sunblock out there. Dr. Kohli, thank you so much for being with us. Good advice as always. Let's check your forecast now with Ed.